let's bring in our Manhattan correspondent, Rémy Bennett. Take a seat.
All right, should I sit next to you?
Sit right here, yeah.
Okay. All right, Gabe, I'm doing this for you.
And I'm gonna.
Thank you. Rémy, I really appreciate it.
And I want you to put this on so you can hear Gabe.
Okay, Gabe, what's up?
What's up? Thank you so much for doing this, Rémy. I mean, I said it as a joke, but I'm glad that this is long overdue. None of us have actually read Banyon, and I'm glad that hopefully you're actually giving us a real book report here and not just
no. This is going to be a real book report. Let me just tell you that first. I just want to introduce our Manhattan correspondent, Rémy Bennett. She's been on the show many times.
Many times.
Or once?
Once, yeah.
Once. Okay, one time. But here she is now. And we're going to be doing, just so you can see this, just before we start here, we have notes. And we're actually multiple pages of notes scribbled.
On an envelope. It's all I could fit on these envelopes.
This is mental.
So this was, I drank some cough medicine before.
Oh, yeah. So you're like robo-tripping while you're doing
I'm
this.
robo-testing out. Okay. I do legitimately have a cold, so I was...
Me too, sister.
Okay, so I'm in the same spot as you are, but
I think this adds.
Do me a favor, though.
So
do me a favor when you're done with
this. Let me set this up, and then you launch into it. So last week, everybody, I think we scared Ben away, and maybe some of you away from doing because we did the Banyon of the High Fortress #2 show, which was completely off the rails, but very fun. We looked at Banyon of the High Fortress 1. And I'm sure most of you have seen that this is not really a comic book. It's got a few drawings that Will Holloway drew, but for the most part, it's written all in prose, which is a big letdown because this cover art here by Will is one of the great Power Comics covers of all time. And we had never read it. We just gave up.
Yeah.
We just never read this. We just gave up because it's not a comic, so we never read it. But you read it. Mm-hmm. So, Rémy, will you give us your report on Banyon of the High Fortress #1.
Okay,
what is it about? What are we talking
about? I did a bit of a speed read.
Okay.
You guys were doing
please.
Speed read.
I'm going to, I just want to, can I like put this up? So this guy, right? This guy is the nexus of the story. He is the Dawn Demon. Well, I got to put these back in order. Okay. A
little closer to the mic.
Okay, so the Dawn Demon, right?
Yeah.
He's that crazy creature with like the crotch that's on fire and then all that shit. He was birthed in a cosmic time before people existed, before dinosaurs existed. It's a kind of a Frankenstein story, kind of a Frankenstein monster story. So he's conflicted because this is what it says. His physical deformity was due to the absence of parental DNA molecules to determine whether he was man or beast. So he was birthed in this like confusion, this conflict. He didn't know if he was good, he was evil, he was man, he was beast, but he was alone. He was living alone in the universe. He was struggling. He had no companions. He didn't know, who he was, right? So he's kind of like floating through the ether, floating through the universe, and he's waiting for life forms to sort of materialize. So he sees the dinosaurs, dinosaurs appear.
This is
wild.
wild.
He looks down.
Not at all what I thought was going to be happening. Go on.
He looks down from the cosmos and he sees these dinosaurs and prehistoric shit. So he decides to go down to Earth, hang out with dinosaurs, and he does not get along with them at all because he thinks that they're not on his level intellectually. They're not very smart. And so he thinks that's very lame, and he kind of waits for the Ice Age to happen until they die out. And then he's walking around on Earth. He sees a prehistoric man, right? Like kind of an ape kind of guy. And he has this great idea where he's like, okay, how do I create more of myself? I need to rape this monkey.
No.
And what is it? It's insane. Oh yeah. So the way that Bill Miller puts it is forced intercourse. So he says, after the Ice Age, the demon saw the first prehistoric man, and he forced intercourse with him. Because he wanted to produce more creatures like himself. Okay, so then that happens, right? Then they get pregnant, like, together. I don't know which one, like, births the child.
That sounds about right.
But it's, like, sort of like a union of like, pregnancy, and then this demon child is birthed with, like, this light around its head. And then
is that this? No.
But that's the
no, that's the guy who's floating through the ether.
That's the main man. Okay, so then the baby is birthed on the planet, on Earth, and then basically it like leads to these generations of these demonic mystical beast creatures that have like sorcery, like occult power. Okay, I'm almost there. This is like part 2. Okay,
this is a real book report.
Okay, so then cut 2, right? Just cut
Damn.
2. The fortress. Now we're in the fortress, and it's like King Arthur and his court, and there's Banyon, and he's like the knight that the king loves, and all
that sounds familiar.
And fuck, what happens? Okay, my notes.
Wait, while you're consulting your notes, I just want to point out real fast that there are illustrations.
Okay,
in this, in this, you know, like you have, you know, just there'll be like, you know, a page or 2 of prose, and then we'll get some will art here to the side. None of this that you're talking about, none of this weird shit,
No.
forced intercourse,
No.
center of the earth, whatever the fuck, none of that is depicted at all in Will's artwork. I'm sure, Will, you never read any of this too. You were just doodling. Okay, now
I gotta say, it does continue to become very, very strange. So you cut to the fortress,
now
right? They're in the king's court. There's a jester. There's like a feast happening. The king is hanging out with Banyon, and he's like, "You're the man," and all this stuff. And he was like, "Banyon, so I'm gonna bring this wizard. Into the court because I think we need like a wizard here." And this wizard happens to be one of the demon spawns of the Dawn Demon. And so Banyon is like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not into this idea. I think that you're so powerful as a king, you don't need any sort of pagan occult influence. Like, we can do this like in a really good way, like good versus evil, like fuck evil, it's all good. And the king was like, no, just trust me. There's a reason. I need this to happen. So Banyon's like, I don't trust this. Wait, what's the guy's name? Cursed. His name is
Cursed. Yeah.
Khurst.
Yeah.
So Cursed comes in, right? They have this like feast, and then the fucking wizard confides in Banyon. No, the king confides in Banyon that he's impotent. And that he is not able to have sexual relations with his wife, the queen. And he's something about his prowess. He says, the king says, "I am without prowess in the making of love." So then basically the wizard goes down and makes him this like sex potion, like a Viagra liquid potion.
This is crazy.
And then the king goes and like hides in his lair, and like the wizard dude Cursed is supposed to give the potion to the king. But then while this is all happening, he's getting changed or something, I don't know, the queen walks up and is like, "What is that beautiful smell? Oh my God, it's so tempting and lovely. Oh, I need this like beautiful drink." And Cursed is like, no, don't drink that. That's not for you. That's for the king. And she's like, "I can't stop myself." And she chugs it. And then she starts going like crazy. Like it's like a sex potion. And she starts getting super horny. And she's like jumping on the wizard and like trying to have sex with him. And then the wizard's like, I can't because he's like half good and half bad because he's a spawn of the demon.
Are you making this up?
No, it's true. And then what happens is the Dawn Demon spirit takes over. This guy's spirit takes over, and he starts having forced intercourse with the queen. And then they have this like crazy, like full-on passionate, like sex moment, cosmic sex moment, and they're both like super into it. But then it like ends, and they're both like, "Oh, let's like never talk about that again." And then like cut to 16 years later. 16.
That's what he always does. That's what he did in number 2.
The queen is dead. But she had a child, and this child is, and so no one really knows.
Bill Miller.
I mean, I should probably wrap this up. I should probably wrap this up. But,
no.
Your notes. Can we just show some of your notes?
The child is horny, and then he's glowing lights, and so then I just want to quote one thing that can I?
Yeah.
Okay. Curse says, "If our race should survive, we must cultivate these fields of flesh." Of course, this attitude goes back to the Dawn Demon's method of forced intercourse.
That is
so...
Yeah. And then so like, okay, I'm going to do this super quick. Like, I'm going to wrap it up.
No, but this is good.
So then this girl is a princess, but then she's like a hybrid of like, she's got part demon, she's got part royalty. And before the king dies, no one knows, by the way, that this is what she is. The king pulls aside Banyon and says, listen, when I'm about to die, like tomorrow, because I'm old, when I die, I cannot have the heir be her. Whatever you do, the heir cannot be her. It has to be a man. Maybe you can take the throne.
Whoa.
And he's like, okay. The king dies. And then Sir Banyon thinks that he's being this amazing, like altruistic, like loyal guy. And he's like, forget that. It should be her. She should be the queen, you know, like it's about the bloodline, because he thinks he's doing this great thing. And then she gets to be the position of the queen. And then the wizard is like, holy shit, like it's a demon queen. And then, fuck, what else happens?
You are inhabiting the soul of Bill Miller right
now. I know. Do me a favor,
so this
though.
Is some deep shit.
When we're done here, put those notes into your neighbor's mailbox for me. This is like classic.
Put them in the neighbor's mailbox.
I said, put those notes in. This is classic, like schizophrenic rambling notes I would find on the streets of New York City.
Yeah, like, is this a threat? Is this like is it a bomb threat?
So that's it. That's only part one of the book report, because I could only fit it on these.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. I can't believe that's where that went.
I mean,
never a million years would I thought that was.
Yeah, and I just wanted to be clear. This is Bill Miller. This is Bill Miller of Jontar, of you know, whatever the fuck. You know, this is from Christian Bill. You know, writing all this, and this
makes sense.
It does make sense, of course, but it seems to be perhaps the most anguished, the most angry, and maybe the most expansive.
And all the themes are there. The sexual guilt, the sexual repression, the Puritanism. There's a lot of stuff. Bill Miller. There's the darkness there. It's the satanic panic kind of stuff.
The dark side of Bill Miller.
Yeah.
Well, A+ book report.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, Rémy.